Hello and welcome back to Wonderland Asylum. So back today is issue 91 of the Hachette Partworks release of Titanic, the ship, the legend. So, what's in the magazine today? Well, we have an article on the White Star Line's Big Four. And that was the, I refuse to say that word there. Yuck. But that's it, moored at White Star Line dock in Liverpool. And again, that's it there. Refuse to say the name. So the big four were that one, the Cedric, the Baltic, and the Adriatic. All the tonnage of between 21,000 and 24,500 tons. Fantastic, and that's the Baltic under construction. And there we see a nice big artist rendering of the Adriatic. Very nice. And that takes us on to the instructions. Again, nice dinky little box, but without further ado, let's see what's in it. Okay, so in today's box, we have a bag of AP screws. We have, for some reason, another bag of AP screws. We have another Z cable. We have another LED strip. We have brown paper envelope. What could be in here? I believe that is windows. Yes, indeedy. Some more little photo-etched windows. We have a bag of connectors, but in with them we also have two vents, which will go at the back. Now obviously they need weathered a little bit. Just make sure there's nothing else in this bag. Nope, not that I can see, but I'm going to rip it open just to check. And then we have two bulkheads. We have the rear one, and we have the port side one, which again, as you can see, is going to need some portholes drilled out. And that is everything that we get in this issue. So, the first thing I'm going to do is, as usual, dirty up those vents a little bit with my fine point Sharpie, far more precise than trying to use a pen. Trying to use paint, sorry. There we go. So what you have to bear in mind is that these are ventilation, essentially. So they would get very, very dirty very, very quickly. And since they're white, they're definitely not going to have a white interior for very long, if they ever did. I doubt that when they were painted they bothered to paint the inside white, but there we go, that's them done. Bit of a cheat, but as I say, I bought this to do the portholes on Bismarck, as suggested by the World of Wayne YouTube channel. Then again, we have these two doors here, which require the portholes drilling out. Well, they don't require, but I'm doing it. I just think it looks a lot better, and it's up to you. If you're building this along with me, and you want to do it, cool. If you don't want to do it, I totally understand. I just think it adds a little bit more realism, makes it look a bit less like a toy. And as I say, it's as good as I can get without completely shaving the doors down and putting photo-etched ones and everything on, which I've seen some other people are doing, and you know, fair play to them, it'll look amazing. I don't have that level of expertise yet to start shaving stuff off, or really the time. But there we go. And next, the instructions I'm going to deviate slightly from, because what they tell you to do is to put the windows on this, then bring the deck up and attach it. Then put the windows on this and bring the deck up again and attach it. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do all the windows at the same time. I've already got my super glue out. I have my little applicator that I've discussed before. So I'm just going to get all the windows off and do them all at the same time. Now these are all kind of small, squarish ones. But there's another point I'm going to make just shortly that I'm a little bit, I don't know if miffed is the word. Surprised. We'll say surprised. And I'll get to that in just a moment once I've finished taking these off the photo-etched disc. Now again, just my usual technique for this, for these Hachette Partworks / Agora Models photo-etch sprues, or photo-etch discs, whichever you want to call them. They are only attached top and bottom, or kind of horizontally and vertically opposed, so they're very easy to just rock the photo-etch part off without having to try and cut it. Whereas if you buy a sheet of photo-etched ladders or photo-etched railings, you're going to need to spend far more time kind of trying to cut them out. Just a bit of advice, these ones are very, very easy to work with. They're also a lot thicker, so they're a lot harder to damage while you're getting them out. I have tried, as I say, I was working on a scratch built wooden tramp steamer that I was asked to kind of fix for someone, and I tried to get some railings for that. And it wasn't 1/200th scale, but the railings would have looked all right on it, and they're just so much more difficult to work with. So I'm having to wait until I can get a tool to get them off a decent scalpel, sorry, to get them off the photo-etched sprue. There we go, that's all those windows off. Again, the first 4 are going in here, 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 and here. So, as always, just run a little bead of glue around the inside. You don't want to get any on the outside wall. With this wall, it's a bit more, that's a bit more important, because this one will be seen a bit more because it's actually at the back of the deck, whereas the other one is going to be hidden behind the sides. Now these ones might be a bit fiddlier. Let's see. There we go. Some glue in. Again, as I've said before, I don't mind doing the windows. Nah, not too bad at all. It's sometimes a bit more difficult if they're in a folded area like that. There's a couple of areas where we've put windows in that weren't too much fun to get to, but these ones aren't bad at all. There we go. That's that one. Looking very nice. And then the 6 on here. Again, pick them up. I've seen people doing them with tweezers. I've never really felt the need. As I say, maybe in a couple of areas it might be easier, but I've always been able to do it with my finger. Okay. Again, just run the glue along the sides. There we are. There we are. That's those windows in. The bit I'm surprised about is there's no window to go there. It's just left kind of open, which I find surprising, but hey ho. That's just the way they want it. And now what we're going to do is, I don't think it matters which bag of AP screws we use at this point. I assume we're going to be using all bar one or two of them anyway. So we'll get the AP screws out. And again, there are 3 going on to this bulkhead area. They do fit quite snugly this time. Again, magnetic screwdriver, absolute lifesaver. Not like that when you do that, of course, but I just was trying not to put too much pressure on the the other side, but again, screw it in. You don't want to do it too tight so that it warps the bracket. Just a kind of hint there, or you'll end up with fitment issues. And again, there is a keyhole pattern, so you can only put these on the correct way. You can't possibly make a mistake with these. They just simply will not fit, which is good. Well, for me it's good anyway. We've all done it at some point or another, not been paying close enough attention and put something on upside down or the wrong way round when we've been building models. I know I definitely have. There we go. It's the third one in there. And then there are 2, nope, there are 4 going on here. A bit excessive for a bit this size, but hey ho, that's what we have to do. There we go. Screw that in there. Again, just follow the keyhole pattern. Screw it in enough that the bracket doesn't rattle, but not enough that you've either bent it or you've stripped the plastic hole out. You don't want to do either of those things, preferably. Okay. Go. And one final bracket in the end here. I do have a spare screw for now. Perfection. So I'll move all of these out of the way, because the next thing I need to do is bring over the deck that we've been working on for the past few issues. Now you can see there, when it sits flush, it rocks back and forth because of the curvature on it. Now I don't know if the hull's going to be curved, you would assume so, but okay. So the first one it tells me to put on is this one, and it goes on this side. Again, just line it all up. Take this final AP screw just to get it the first fixing point in. Perfect. And I'll get some more AP screws out. I don't know how many we're going to need, haven't counted. I suppose 7, because there will be 3 on here, and then 4 on the other side. go. Bit of fluff stuck to my deck there. So that's all 3 of them in. And next we're fitting this piece in just here like that, and it fits very, very nicely in between the existing, they're calling them bulkheads, whatever, superstructure walls, bulkheads, whatever you want to call them. The 3 of them do fit together very, very nicely, which is a good thing, because I remember watching the model boat guy build the trumpeter 1 to 200 scale Titanic, and there were a couple of times that the fitment between different areas wasn't great, so I'm quite chuffed. Mind you, the 3 of these have all come within an issue of each other, so I imagine that'll probably have helped, certainly. It definitely won't have hindered. There we go. And one final screw just in there. Perfect. So that's that all done. Okay, so the next thing it wants us to do is there are 2 holes just behind that bulkhead that we've just put in. You can see them there and there. And what's going in there is just these little vents. And obviously the venting part points backwards. They don't need glued. They stick in quite nicely. It tells you can use a bit of glue if you wish, but as I say, you're not going to need to. And again, it leaves you the option to upgrade. But that's what that looks like with all those bulkheads in place. And again, I'll spin around before I turn it upside down. And that is what you will see of what we've just done. So not a great deal to be seen, being honest, but I know it's there. Then we're turning the deck upside down to attach our latest light bar, which is going here. Now you can't really see, but the kind of cutaway section is just under the staircase, and as always that will match up with that wee bit there. Yeah. So again, line it up because it will only fit in the right way. Again, just a little bit of pressure and that will push it right in. Perfect, just like that. Fantastic. So that is us. I'll turn it back over so we can have another wee look on the top. But yeah, looking at that, that is us for issue 91. So that concludes issue 91. What's in issue 92? Another bulkhead, another LED strip, connectors, screws, a couple of vents, and another Z cable. So again, I think the bulkhead we're going to be adding goes on the bottom here. I think a few people have complained about the inaccuracy. We'll have a look and see. But again, that's what we did today. Fitted those bulkheads and those vents. You can see, again, this deck coming together. I don't think there's a great deal more to do on this deck, being honest with you. I'm sure next time we get to wire up the lights and test them as well. So that'll be a lot of fun. But yep, any feedback, comments, complaints, criticisms, drop them below. Do drop me a like, because it does help out massively with the algorithms. And think about subscribing in order to be notified when new videos of Titanic or indeed the U-boat come out. But that's all for today, so thanks as always guys, and peace out everyone.